everybody, and welcome to my review of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So this movie was directed by J.A. Bayona, and it's the 5th chapter of the highly successful Jurassic Park franchise. This time around we have the island from the previous one, Isla Nublar, and basically it's exploding. There's an active volcano which is going to erupt and wipe out the entire population of dinosaurs. There's this whole aspect of should we save them or should we not save them, and the politicians decide, no, let's just let them perish. They're abominations and shouldn't be around. Then we have this ultra rich guy played by James Cromwell who enlists the help of Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, who returned from the previous film, and they've got a mission to rescue the dinosaurs, take them away to a whole other sanctuary, or do they? Because it turns out that Cromwell's character might have some other plans up his sleeve, which basically, if you've seen the trailer, you know what happens. Because yeah, the trailers for this movie were really spoilery. So look, naturally, I love Jurassic Park. It is an absolute contemporary masterpiece. It was groundbreaking in its special effects. It gave us a really cool story that was full of adventure and tension and great characters. From there on, the sequels were okay. Well, Lost World I liked. Jurassic Park 3 is watchable. I was not a big fan of Jurassic World, the previous one. It was one of those movies that I went and saw it, and I've only ever seen it once, and yeah, I actually don't really remember it that well. I kind of remember like bits and pieces, but yeah, not the entire thing. So naturally, this one I wasn't that looking forward to it. And then the reviews started coming in, which, yeah, mostly were pretty bad. Like, really, really bad. I mean, my buddies Corey and Steve from Rewind Replay actually put this movie way down on the bottom of the list, along with 50 Shades Freed as far as worst movies of this year. So yeah, but then there were some people who liked it. I mean, I've got friends of mine who dug it, and so, you know, kind of went in really not knowing what to expect. And if you follow my channel, you know that I always start off with the positives, so let's get the positives out of the way. Well, it looked good. It was well shot. You know, the cinematography was good. Everything was well framed. Chris Pratt, hey, Chris Pratt, he's always likable, that guy, no matter what he's in. And yeah, you know, he had a few funny moments. One bit where he's been tranked and has to escape from lava. That's not a spoiler, don't worry. That was funny. Yeah, he was good. He was good. Bryce Dallas Howard, she's pretty. She looked good. The score by Michael Giacchino was adequate at best. Yeah, God, I'm really struggling to come up with too much more, because I gotta say, yeah, look, I probably wouldn't say it's the worst movie of the year, but oh man, this movie was really boring. You know, for a movie to really capture your interest, it's got to be interesting in the first 10 minutes. I mean, something good or interesting has to happen that actually entices you in and, you know, draws you into its story and makes you want to keep watching. This movie, the opening scene was really boring, and I was just kind of like, okay, like, hopefully it'll pick up from here. But for me personally, it never really did. In terms of the characters, I didn't care about anybody. They could have all died and I would have just been like, yeah, okay, they're dead. The dinosaurs, like, we've seen this all before. I mean, when the first Jurassic Park came out, one of the things it had going for it was that it was unique in as much as, you know, we hadn't seen that stuff happen before. It's the same thing with the Transformers franchise. Like, the first movie was groundbreaking. We hadn't seen, you know, live action Transformers like that. Whereas the more recent ones, you know, we've seen all that, so they've got to come up with a decent story and characters, whereas they just don't. And honestly, the Jurassic Park franchise, or Jurassic World in this case, is kind of going the way of Transformers for me. All the other side characters in this movie I really didn't care about or were quite annoying, and there's this little girl in it who, yeah, I won't spoil anything, but the big sort of revelation about who she really is, I just thought was so, I don't know, unnecessary and pointless. And there was one point where I was taking a sip of drink and she delivered this line of dialogue that made me kind of burst out laughing, and I nearly spat my drink on the person in front of me. Yeah, there was some really bad bits of dialogue in this film. And just heavy exposition. I think that's why the first act didn't grab me. There was so much heavy exposition. We get this big news report about what's going on the island, whereas, I mean, you know, the fundamental screenwriting rule is show, don't tell, whereas it's just blah, 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 this is happening. Blah, 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 this is what you need to know. And yeah, I was just kind of like, come on, show us something interesting. And another thing I kind of found a bit annoying with this movie was that the characters just really made a lot of dumb decisions and did dumb things. And not only that, like, you've got this new species of dinosaur, an Indoraptor, which I think was a combination of a raptor and the Indominus Rex from the last movie of, I don't know. I don't know these dinosaurs. And so they're talking about how they're going to be making this super raptor and stuff as this ultimate killing machine, which you'd sort of think would maybe take, like, I don't know, a few months to grow it and make this dinosaur, but it just sort of seemed like they had it in about 15 minutes. It was like 1 minute they're talking about making it, they're bringing all the dinosaurs in, and then the next minute they're rolling it out. It's like, well, hang on, like, really? I mean, like I said, you know, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I wasn't like, you know, oh my god, I've got to get out of this cinema, but it didn't have anything that was really that compelling me to, you know, want to get to the next scene. I mean, if there was a power failure and the movie stopped projecting and the lights came on and they were like, hey, everyone's got to go, yeah, I wouldn't have cared too much. One thing I will say though is the ending, it did kind of intrigue me a little bit as to what the next one's going to be like, which obviously there is going to be a next one, and it did set up for a kind of interesting premise for the next one, so I really hope they get it right. Not that it matters, because the damage has been done and I don't think people are really going to hold this trilogy up to the Jurassic Park trilogy. So look, I mean, you know, obviously you're going to go see this movie. Like, it's going to do well at the box office. People are going to go out in droves to see it. It was a pretty packed cinema, the one that I just went and saw. I'm going to be struggling to if I ever get it on Blu-ray, because I mean, I own all the other ones. Like Jurassic World, I picked up, I think it was like 3 for $30 or something like that. I mean, I waited till it was really cheap. This one, it's not even a case of, oh, I've got to get it to complete the series. I just don't really ever want to see this movie again. And for that reason, I'm going to give Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a 2 out of 10. Alrighty, so over to you, dinosaur lovers. What did you think of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Am I wrong? And don't get me wrong, look, if you like this movie, that is totally cool. I would never hold it against anyone to have a differing opinion to me. I wish I could have liked it. It would have been great. And stay tuned to this channel. I got some really big things coming up. I've got something planned for my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp coming up week after next. Yeah, something that is probably, I could easily say, the biggest thing that has ever happened on this channel. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let me know what you thought of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Drop me some comments either here or on Facebook. All the social media links are in the description below, because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.